Doggies roam. All right. Hello, U.S. history students. Mrs. Pascogan here. Today we're talking about the cowboys of the Wild West. All right, learning target. I can explain the role of a cowboy in the settling of the West. So what you heard there was a song called Cattle Call, sung by Eddie Arnold. And I'll let you listen to that more in depth later. There's a link here in this lesson, and there's the lyrics to follow along. But this song is about the American cowboys of the West. How would you describe the life of a cowboy? Just based on what you already know, because the cowboy is really big in pop culture. It's big in the movies and TV, and really, you know, have you ever heard of the Marlboro Man, the pack of cigarettes? For years, the company Marlboro used the image of a cowboy to sell cigarettes to people because they depict the cowboy as a strong, rugged, rough, and tough guy. And that was a way to try to manipulate people into buying their product, right? So, but there's a lot of imagery out there of the cowboys. So, do you really know what their life was like and what role did they play in the shaping of the West? Because we're talking about westward expansion on this project. So today you're going to learn more about the life of a cowboy, how they shaped America's identity. So for this, it's again the 6C lesson format that you've been doing. For the Explorer, there's a do, a watch, and a read. And I put it in this order because I want you to do it in this order. I want you to complete the before column on the left-hand side of this T chart by writing what you already know. So I want you to do this first. Make a copy of this. So before you do anything else, what do you already know? Like, can you describe the life of a cowboy, or just jot down some notes of what comes to mind when you hear the term cowboy and what was their life like? So take notes here. And then after learning about everything on this side, I want you to describe the life of the cowboy after you have learned everything about them in this lesson. So then watch. This is a really good video. This is from one of my favorite shows that the History Channel has, called America, the Story of Us. And this one is about the American cowboy. It's about 9 minutes long, but I really urge you to watch the whole thing. And as you watch, I want you to take notes or think about how the American cowboy represents American ideals and values. Many Black Americans were cowboys. Notice how Nat Love is discussed. Why am I bringing that up? Because he's in your document readings. That name, Nat Love. Why were so many cowboys African American? How were they treated by other cowboys? So the reason I'm talking about this is because your checkpoint this week is on Black Americans in the West, and you're going to see many of them were cowboys. So and then you're also going to do this reading here about the American West cowboys. And then you have an explain. You just simply answer these questions right here. You type right on this document. Then you're going to take this brief multiple choice quiz to assess what you learned about a cowboy's job and way of life. And then you elaborate, pretty easy this week. You're just going to complete that right-hand side of your T chart on what you have learned. Oh, wait, it's already up over here, I think. Yeah, here we go. So you're just going to complete this. Describe the life of a cowboy now that you've learned all about them. And the other elaborate that I want you to do is your checkpoint here in Summit on impacts of westward expansion on Black people. So for this, and it's that same format you've kind of been doing for most weeks, you read a document set. In this case, you're going to be reading about the impact of westward expansion on Black people. And that man that you heard about mentioned before, Nat Love, he was a famous Black cowboy. He is going to be in here. So you're going to learn about that and complete the graphic organizer, same format as we've always been doing. And then you're going to complete this checkpoint here to answer this question: how does the intent of westward expansion compare to the impact it had on different groups of people? Okay. So, and actually, back up. So that compelling question of the inquiry, that's the big picture question. Sorry, let me go down here. Okay, yes, okay, here. So this is that big question, okay, that everything is building up to. How does the intent of westward expansion compare to the impact it had on different groups of people? So you're going to look at blacks, you're going to look at American Indians, you're going to look at immigrants, you're going to look at women. That's what you're doing. It's sort of set up like how the last project was about all men are created equal. So, so this week you're going to focus on black people. And so for this particular checkpoint, you are looking specifically at the impact of westward expansion on black people or African Americans, okay? So you're going to compare and contrast the intent of westward expansion with the impact it had on black people. So think about the intent, again, that whole idea of intent and impact. All right, so there it is in a nutshell for this week. You're going to be working on my lesson and this checkpoint right here. And if you have any questions or concerns while you're working on this, you get lost or you get stuck, that's what I'm here for, to help you. So don't hesitate to reach out. You have a great week.